Hey there, VC, vinyl community, anyone who stumbles upon this video. It's me, Rodger, back with another episode of Rodger's Record Addiction. Yeah, it's been a little while. I was inspired by James Buttery's video that I saw this morning. I love his walkabout videos where you get to see beautiful New Zealand, although this wasn't a particularly beautiful part of New Zealand, but cool stuff. Inspired me to come on, try to make a video. I'm so far behind people, and the further behind I get, the more depressed I get about it. I said this last time, it's kind of a vicious cycle that I get into where it's like the longer I go, the harder it is to get on and make a freaking video. So I'm just going to make a video. It's just a selection of things. We'll see how it goes, okay? Cheers, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. For those that are interested, it is a St. Charles Porter from the Blackstone Brewing Company here in Nashville. No, I'm not drunk. This is my first beer of the day. Okay, give me a break. All right, so between the last time you saw me and now, I had a birthday. Woohoo, happy birthday to me. 50 fucking 4 years old. It wasn't supposed to happen, but here I am. So I got some birthday presents. I'll show a few of them. No vinyl here, but bear with me. This is a really cool CD from one of my in-laws. Todd Dockstader from the Archives on Starkland. A small Colorado label that has largely devoted itself to Todd Dockstader's works. So Todd Dockstader, if you don't know about him, is an early pioneer of electronic music, concrete tape music, working with what you would now call samples, but they're little bits of tape, and he would rearrange them. And this was back in the late 50s, early 60s, and then he kind of disappeared because he didn't have any credentials. He tried to get a gig with Princeton, Columbia, their RCA set up in the 60s, but they were like, sorry, you need a PhD or fuck off. So he kind of disappeared, and then this label, Starkland, reissued the 4 LPs he made in the 60s. And then his daughter, apparently, as he started to develop dementia in the early 2000s, gave him a computer. Or maybe in the 90s, gave him a computer. He started making music again. There's 3 volumes on Sub Rosa, 3 CDs on Sub Rosa I don't have. I really want. They're out of print. And then they found thousands of sound files on his computer after he died. And this is 15 of them. Dated from, what's the earliest one on here? 2005 through about 2008. I think he died in 2010. This is really wild stuff. There's a really great little video about him, a little short video. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, where he's listening to this stuff after he's like deep into dementia, and he like opens up and he's like, I wish I had done that. And the interviewer's like, well, you did. And he was like, wow. Really cool. Thank you, Katie, for that. That's really awesome. And then my other in-laws gave me this, and this is really something else. The latest Bob Dylan bootleg series. This is volume 13, 1979 to 1981. Trouble No More. This is the deluxe edition, 8 CDs and a DVD. So this encompasses Dylan's gospel era, from roughly Slow Train Comin' through Shot of Love. And now I am not a big believer at all. But this music is really some of Dylan's finest, because he, at least during this short period of time, he was a believer, and a fervent one at that. And the performances on this are just incendiary. And so what do you have here? You have 2 live compilations, 2 discs of live stuff, 2 discs of rare and unreleased, like rehearsals, unreleased studio things. Discs 5 and 6 are best of live in Toronto in 1980. It was like a 3-night run that they recorded to multi-track. So this is sort of a best of that that run, and then disc 7 and 8 is live in London, June 27th, 1981, which would be like the end of the whole gospel thing. I think it might have been he took a break from the road. This is like pre-Neverending Tour, you know. Fascinating stuff. I haven't watched the DVD yet. I'm really excited to. It comes with, so it's packaged in this, you know, neat little. These are the cassette tapes of the concerts that a lot of this material comes from. And like, you know, real information, and then there's liner notes, of course. And then the deluxe edition has a whole hardcover book of, you know, pictures and sleeves and labels and all the kinds of record collector minutiae that people like me get all excited about. Here's a Japanese ad for Shot of Love. Yeah, they really are knocking it out of the park these days with these Dylan Bootleg series things. Another major hole filled. So what's left for Dylan? Well, Blood on the Tracks, Desire era. It seems like an obvious one to me, but we'll see. Okay, one more thing, and this is a book. Now, my sister usually gives me a Amazon gift certificate, and normally I would get something on my wish list, like a CD or something like that. But this has been on my wish list for a long time, since way back when I cared about comic books and cartoons and stuff like that. And I still have most of my collection, but I don't really actively collect that stuff anymore. But I wanted this for a long time. It came out in 2003, and then it went out of print. It became really expensive, but I've always had it on my list, and anyway, I was able to find a copy in nice shape for a decent price, and so I got it. Thank you, Molly. The Cat on a Hot Thin Groove, the complete collection of 78 RPM artwork from the Old Record Changer magazine by Gene Deitch. You may know about Gene Deitch. He went on to do lots of animation, like Mr. Magoo, and father of Kim Deitch, another cartoonist. This is wonderful stuff. You know, a little bit obscure because it is from the 78 era, but you know, the Record Changer was this originally just kind of a little mimeographed way for record collectors to trade records in the 40s. So we're talking like 49, you know, and the rise of bebop is a subject, and really cool stuff. Very excited to have that. It's kind of big and unwieldy, but hey. So it goes. So yeah, happy birthday. Thank you all for the birthday presents. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm still alive. How did that happen? I'm doing my best. All right, 8 minutes. All right, you're here for the vinyl. Here's the vinyl, okay? Got to give another shout out to Andreas Sonic Mainliner. Hey man, if you're watching, he, you know, it's not like I'd run out and buy everything that he shows, but he does such a good job of describing things, and he shows really interesting records. Just, you know, even if I'm not necessarily interested in running out and buying them, they're always interesting records. And he showed some things recently that I was like, oh, you know what? I really do need to run out and buy these. Now, the first one would be this. Tokyo Flashback, the PSF psychedelic sampler. This is a reissue of something that originally came out on CD back in the 90s, 1991. 91, yeah. So this is a recent, first time on vinyl issue on Black Editions. So PSF is this Japanese label, home of Fushitsusha and Keiji Haino's band, and then there's other, you know, Marble Sheep and High Rise Ghost, not the stupid phony bit metal band, but the like Japanese band, noise band. Really interesting stuff. Now, I've had some PSF CDs for a long time. I've never had this, but longtime fan of Fushitsusha and Keiji Haino. And so when he showed this and was explaining what it was, I was like, oh man, I need to get this. And it's really cool. Now he had a problem getting it in and out of the sleeve, and it is really, really tight. It is really, really tight. So I'm not going to pull it out for you. You can watch his video. He shows you all the neat, it's like plasticized cardboard cover and everything. Really cool. Sounds great. Really, you know, so it's I think all previously unreleased stuff. Really excellent comp. I hope they do more PSF stuff on vinyl. That would be neat. Okay, and again with Sonic Mainliner, he was talking about Autechre and the reissues that came out, and I was like, you know, I've always been vaguely aware of Autechre. They go way back to, like, these first few records go back to like early 90s, and so a contemporary with like Autechre Twin on the same label on Warp. So I had to check these out. He spoke so glowingly about them. I was like, you know, that sounds right up my alley with my like new obsession with synthesizers and stuff. I have a fair amount of 90s electronic music, but I never got into Autechre. I knew about them, never really checked them out. And this is great stuff. This is not quite as weird as Autechre Twin. A little more accessible and melodic, particularly like this one and this one. So this is Incunabula from 1993, and this is Amber, I think from what, 94, 95. 2 LP sets, and also the third one, Trirepeti. Not very exciting cover. Gorgeous stuff. And they come with lossless downloads, which is nice. And it also comes with a free download of a recent live set. Now Sonic Mainliner said that later they get more into like just abstract beats. And now there's pretty abstract beats on here, but yeah, there's melodies, and compared to this live stuff, that's way more just like glitchy beats, you know. But these are gorgeous. Thank you, Andreas, for, you know, raving about them. Especially this first one is really a treat. Very atmospheric, very it's like not really like Autechre Twin, kind of like Autechre, whatever. Now, can someone tell me if those Autechre Twin reissues are worth getting? I mean, these sound really, really good. It makes me think, you know, I've had those Autechre Twin CDs forever. Now, maybe I need to get them. Let me know in the comments if you want, if you know. All right, here's some reissues. I've had these a while. These are killer. I've really been digging the hell out of these. I think there's some heavy hitters in the VC who have originals of this. You know, in fact, I'm sure because I've seen them shown before. But rare Italian prog, Battiato, Fetus. The first album was originally from 1971. Look at him. And the second one, Pollution, from 1972. Wow. And then the third one, Sul Corda di Aries, the strings of Aries, or some strings of Aries, something. Okay, so what do we have here? We have this with a disturbing cover is it reminds me a lot of like Aria. He's got this very kind of operatic voice, and he sings in Italian. These were only ever released in Italy. They're pretty obscure. And there's like a political edge, I think, to some of this stuff, but since it's in Italian, I can't really tell you what's going on. Can be a little bombastic at times, sort of like Aria, but also sort of jazzy, and it's just really interesting. It's very Italian, very. Yeah. So, and then Pollution is sort of a concept album about, you know, pollution and the planet and stuff, and it's a little bit less crazed than that first album. And then this is almost like proto new age music or something. This is gorgeous. I mean, of the three, I would recommend this as being the most accessible and this is the one I play the most, really. So, yeah, gorgeous. All right. Cheers, everybody. Here's a nice reissue of I don't ever remember seeing this when it came out on vinyl, and I would have picked it up if I'd seen it. So Beck's Modern Guilt, originally from what? Jesus, a while ago, early 2000s. One of his better efforts, I think. It's produced by Danger Mouse and Beck, and so Danger Mouse gives it a little bit of an edge, a little fuzziness to it, a little bit of grit or something. There's some good songs on this. And they didn't stretch it out to 2 discs, and it's not stupid expensive. It was like under $20. I mean, really, a bargain. It sounds really good, too. Here's an interesting library music record, which I don't think I've shown. I don't think so. If I did, forgive me. Time Signals by Klaus Weiss, Rhythm and Sounds. This was recommended to me by a guy, the main guy, McKay. It's kind of hidden away. So library music. Late 70s, early 80s, I think. Has some new liner notes here. Some of this was used in some porno movie. It's great stuff, really. If you're into library music, well worth getting. It's on this Trunk label. Trunk. He was telling me they're pretty limited and they don't tend to repress things, so these reissues are themselves collectible, I guess. All right. These were all new records. So these were not new, but they might as well be. Here's a record I've seen people show, and I always go, wow, that'd be neat, nice to have. This is Sans Gollum. A reissue on Roto Relief from 2013. It's the machine numbered. This is number 321 out of 500, and it's on the blue vinyl. Anyway, in this ludicrously oversized jacket. Classic. Obscure krautrock record from 1973. I think it came out in 74, recorded in 73. Their one and only record until being resurrected by this label, Roto Relief. And this record has it all. I mean, if you're into krautrock, you get your spacey synthesizer noodling, a la Tangerine Dream, etc. You get some kind of like rocky rave ups, like Amon Duel. You get some like really whacked out vocals and groovy things like Can, and it's all mashed together on one record. Really, really, really good. Really good. Psyched to find that. I think I found that at Grimy, so it was a good deal. This too is like kind of I think even this reissue is kind of hard to find, but I found it at Grimey's for a good price and I picked it up. This is Franco Falsini. Cold Nose, soundtrack to a film, Naso Freddo. This is a reissue on, what is this label? I'm not even sure. It's an official reissue, limited repress. This is gorgeous. Originally from the 70s something. Oh, it's reissued on Spectrum Spools in association with Editions Mego. 2012, this came out. Originally, it came out in 70-something. So Franco Falsini from Sensations Fix, doing like all instrumental, almost like new agey kind of thing. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. I mean, originals are super rare, so I'm really glad to have that. Sounds really good. All right, just a couple more. Some former employee at Grimey's was unloading their collection, and I caught some of it, but I'm glad anyway, I can't give them all my money. This was Sun piece that I was missing. It's actually Nurse with Wound remixing Sun's first album. And so this is Sun meets Nurse with Wound, The Iron Soul of Nothing. So originally came out on CD as a bonus disc on the Japanese CD of Zero Zero Void. And this is the first vinyl issue of it from 2011. Yeah, originally released on CD on Daymare Recordings 2008. This vinyl reissue from 2011. It sounds great and it's amazing. It's really, if you know that record, this is a fascinating, complete reimagining of it. Gorgeous. It's really gorgeous stuff. All right, finally, a record I just picked up today and have not listened to. I'm gonna wrap up this vinyl. I'm gonna wrap up this video, and I'm gonna listen to this vinyl. So I can't really speak about it. It's the new Kumasi Washington EP, Harmony of Difference, which is apparently a piece commissioned by the Museum of Modern Art. I mean, this kid, he's a kid. He's like not even 30. Now, as y'all know, if you have been watching or you watched that video where I talked about the epic. So this is kind of the opposite of the epic 3 LPs. This is an EP. I think it's maybe 15 minutes of music. I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I had mixed feelings about the epic. But I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I read this really interesting, I think New York Times Magazine article about him, something big long piece about him that really kind of gave me an insight to who he is and where he's coming from, and I think he's trying to do the right thing. Great cover. We'll see how it is. All right, that wasn't too long. 22 minutes and 5, 6, 7, 8. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. I'm sorry I haven't been responding to comments. I suck. But I do appreciate them. I do read them. And I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your dislikes. Yeah. I don't know. That was fun. I'll be back. Take care, everybody. See you soon.